Today we're going to look at Magic the Gathering cards, underrated, also under $1. I'm going to start the conversation off with Nimble Obstructionist. One of my favorite blue cards for a blue and 2 generic. It's a 3/1 creature and it's flash and it has flying. However, the coup de la grace, the most amazing part of this card is its cycling ability. It cycles for a blue and 2 generic, which means you get to draw a card. However, when you cycle Nimble Obstructionist, counter target activated or triggered ability you don't control. So is Thassa's Oracle letting you down? You counter it with the Nimble Obstructionist. And they have no means of fighting back. Like, normally you could try to use something like Stifle to counter the Thassa's Oracle trigger, but then they could just counter it back with like Pact of Negation or Force of Will or something. However, Nimble Obstructionist, because it is an ability, they cannot interact with it. So, I've hit all sorts of weird things like Shark Typhoon. Big control deck goes in for the big Shark Typhoon to ambush me. But then I hit them with the Nimble Obstructionist and they realize, oh my god, I can't do anything about this. So, remember, it hits triggered abilities. It hits enter the battlefield abilities. It hits activated abilities. It gets people where they absolutely don't expect it. And that's why I love the Nimble Obstructionist. And what Joel says, wasn't this on the cards that don't work as well as they look? Hey, for less than $1, this thing is amazing. But when it competes with all the other cards that are worth like $500, that's where it starts to look a little shabby. Now, the next card I'd love to share with all of you is Damping Matrix. This card is like 30 cents, and most people don't even know that it exists. It's 3 mana for an artifact. Activated abilities of artifacts and creatures can't be activated unless they're mana abilities. So if your opponents are playing with artifacts and creature-based decks with activated abilities, to pull off some sort of combo or some sort of weird interaction, this will shut them all down. I have to admit, though, you can't be playing with any of that stuff yourself. All right, so you can still add mana with your Soul Rings, and you can tap your Land or Elves for green mana. But any other weirdo activated abilities of pumping up your creatures and whatnot, that all gets shut down. But if you don't use any of that stuff, this thing obliterates people. Yeah, it's like a budget. It's a budget Karn, but it also hits the activated creature abilities. So it's a pretty wild card, in my opinion, that most people don't even know exists. The priests tried cursing it. The mages tried dispelling it. In the end, they all obeyed it. All right, let's see. Check out Vigor. All right, let's go check out Vigor. $1, people. $1. Oh god, there's a lot of Vigors in this game, isn't there? Force of Vigor, Amulet of Vigor. We need, like, the OG Vigor. There we go. The green. Well, this is not even under $1. Okay, this is like a $10 card. We need this. You got to put your budget caps on, people. You need to put your budget caps on. Wildfire. Is that under $1 now? The Wildfire. Oh yeah, this is not the Wildfire I was thinking of. Okay, we go check out Wildfire when it loads. All right, we got this is under $1. We got a red 4 generic Wildfire sorcerer. Each player sacks 4 lands. It's basically an artificial Armageddon. And Wildfire deals 4 damage to each creature, so obliterating the board. Wiping out most creatures. Make sure you've got your... you can customize your deck to make sure you're a little bit more chunkier than 4 toughness and obliterate everybody's land. So make sure you're heavier on the artifacts after you cast this damn thing. But it's essentially an Armageddon while also being sort of an anger of the gods at the same time. I totally see this card being of great use to many people. Mountain Goat for best try. Very awkward tribal. We got Placato, Etchings of the Chosen. Etchings of the Chosen. So Etchings of the Chosen is a white-black 1 generic enchantment. As Etchings of the Chosen enters the battlefield, you choose a creature type. Creatures you control of the chosen type get +1/+1. Alright, so we got a sort of a Lord effect here. Well, it's also from Modern Horizons. Pay 1, sacrifice a creature of the chosen type. Target creature you control gains indestructible until end of turn. I can totally see this being of great use to someone who can make a lot of creature tokens of that particular type. Maybe a goblin deck that's trying to protect the Muxus, or like, what's it called? Not the Muxus. It's like the Rabble Master going in for 1 billion damage. You got to keep the key creatures together and just sack off all the extra tokens. You might be making millions of tokens like with your Rabble Master, so why not use the Etchings of the Chosen? Although it's in the Orzhov colors, so you might have to be Mardu in that case. Anyway, Etchings of the Chosen, nice one. Okay, Alan Baird says, I'm a big fan of Worry Beads, but they aren't very good. Still got it signed by the artist, though. Don't worry, at $1, or less than $1, we're going to be a little bit more lenient here. Worry Beads, 3 mana artifact. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player puts the top card of his or her library into his or her graveyard. I think this would be more beneficial to you if you want to get the cards in the graveyard. I have to admit, though, the art is sweet. That is some sweet art. Excellent stuff. You all know I have a soft spot for the merfolk over there. It's one of the more merfolk-looking merfolk from Mercadian Masks. Back then, they gave them. They all looked like the Mr. Blue Mr. Clean. Okay, Abso with like the Persist. Is it that cheap? Did people just not run reanimate decks? It is. It's under $1. All right, we got Persist, like the Reanimator card for a black 1 generic sorcery. Return target non-legendary creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield, but with the big downside that gets a -1/-1 counter on it. How many I don't know what you would want to reanimate that has 1 toughness. This is easily. What, isn't this like a modern day? What's it called? What's the enchantment card? It's like the same thing as enchant. Oh, I can't remember. It's like enchant a graveyard card, comes onto the battlefield with a as -1/-1, but this is just the modern day version, and it basically costs pennies. Reanimate your creatures for the low cost of 2 mana. All right, we got the J. Jones with a Black Blade Reforged. Black Blade Reforged. Who plays Budget Commander out there? You guys know what's up. All right, 2 mana, legendary artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each land you control. So you gotta make sure no one's playing Wildfire at your table. And equipped legendary creature for 3 mana, and equip a regular creature for 7 mana. So effectively, you want to be putting these on your commanders or other legendary creatures in your deck. Tony says Wrap in Vigor. Is that what we were going for last time? Are we going for Wrap in Vigor instead of just Vigor? Okay, Wrap in Vigor is under $1. All right, I'm all certifying these as under $1. Regenerate each creature you control. So isn't this just one of those, like, protect yourself from Wrath of God type of cards? Confused Alex, alternative title of the stream. Nikachu discovers his European fans with late night streams, something like that. Hey, some of you Americans are still here. Some of you guys don't sleep until like 3 o'clock in the morning. What time is it here? It's 9:14 over here. All right, Wrap in Vigor, because we all know how many people hate Wrath of Gods, Supreme Verdicts, damnations. So you gotta make sure you regenerate each creature you control, all of them at the same time. Sean Jackson with the Whispering Madness. Whispering Madness is a black-blue 2 generic sorcery. Each player discards his or her hand, then draws cards equal to the greatest number of cards a player discarded this way, and it has Cipher? So it's basically Windfall over and over again, because you can like cipher this onto a creature. You encode it onto a creature, and whenever that creature deals combat damage to a player, its controller may cast a copy. That's busted. That's insane. Windfall is a fantastic card. And I guess you could use this with Narset and just draw like tons and tons of cards off of this thing while your opponents draw absolutely nothing. All right, we got Zerillium. Thank you very much for the super chat. Hey, Nikachu, good to see you again. Favorite 2 coffee flavors? Nothing and mocha. I'm a huge fan of mocha. You know what? Hazelnut and mocha. Although usually I'm just plain. I'm just plain coffee. Okay, what else we have here? Fire with Verdant Haven. All right, Verdant Haven. Oh, wasn't this like an all-star in Standard at the time? A green 2 generic aura. You enchant a land. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life. When enchanted land is tapped for mana, its controller adds 1 more mana of you make another mana, whatever. So you double. Is it any mana? Enchanted land is tapped for mana. Its controller adds 1 mana of any color to his or her mana pool. Okay, the ultimate mana fixing. All right, well, if you really need that life gain so bad, because this is like, I guess this is budget Utopia Sprawl. How much is this Utopia Sprawl now? It's probably still up over a few dollars, because it sees actual competitive play, weirdly enough. Okay, Placato. No, it's Placatato. It's a bit of a tongue twister here. Hour of Revelation. It's a hell of an hour, isn't it? All right, we got a white 3 generic sorcery. This spell costs 3 less to cast. If there are 10 or more non-land permanents on the battlefield, destroy all non-land permanents. So isn't this like, this reminds me of Blasphemous Act. So like the more creatures there are on the battlefield, the cheaper it gets, and then you know, at the right moment you just obliterate all the creatures, because what's going to survive like, you know, 13 damage? But Hour of Revelation just said we're just blowing up all the non-land permanents. Get rid of it. We're resetting the game. We can keep the mana, but we're resetting the game. Boulder with the super chat. Thank you so much. Unearth. Uwu. Is it even under $1? I know it's such a popular. It is under $1, and rightfully so. Okay, so at $1, this card's a steal. It's because it's a black return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. But it's got cycling. So I mean, if it's a useless card in your hand, you just cycle it away and go find yourself a fresh card. I swear this card was more expensive in the past, but you know, at a super competitive level, people have seen the light. And the light is, you just don't... Look at this Phyrexian Negator. They saw the light. They're running away. Ooh, Annex. That's a neat one from Tony. Annex. I totally forgot about that card's existence. All right, we got Annex. Blue, 2 generic. Enchant land. You steal their land. So you're tired of their Gaia's Cradles? You're tired of their Maze of Iths or their Tabernacles? Well, it's your thing now. You go swipe that thing away. What else is there? Like, what's good to swipe in, like, in general? This has seen some really niche competitive play where you just swipe their... That's pretty backbreaking. You take their... You don't only just destroy their land. You steal it, and now it adds to your mana base. But in Commander, there's all sorts of cool ways of making use of this card. Because everyone's playing... What I love the most about Commander is playing with all the cool little niche lands that normally I cannot even see in competitive play. You steal their Nykthos. That's backbreaking. All right, we're going to look at more cards that are under $1, but we got to thank our sponsors, FusionGamingOnline.com. The first place I look for my cards that are under $1 is going to be at FusionGamingOnline.com. And you know what? The discounts can get even cheaper. than $1 when I'm using coupon code Nikachu at checkout to get 5% off all my purchases. And we're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place to rent Magic cards online, because it's cheaper when you're renting. It's a ban list saver, because when your cards get banned, it's not really your cards, it's their cards that are getting banned. You get to play an unlimited number of decks, and you get that competitive edge to play the latest, hottest decks when they are breaking out. You can support the channel by using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 10% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_U3V at checkout. Alright, now back to the cheapo cards. Everyone loves cheapo cards. Is this good? Vagilis Fear. Carnophage. That's like a really old card. Carnophage. Or is it? Or isn't it? Yeah, this is like a super old card. Is this really under? It's a black 2/2 at the beginning of your upkeep. Tap in unless you pay 1 life. I'm gonna say this is garbage. I'm really sorry. This is real. This is real bullocks. Gotta speak like the people in Europe. It's bullocks. It's just well, I don't know. Is it the best thing you can play in a zombie deck for 1 mana? I don't think so. They got a lot of good zombies anyway. You could steal that guy's cradle. That's right. Annex people away. Abzo with Elite. Was that really under $1? Elite Spellbinder? By the way, get your cards from FusionGamingOnline.com before these cards are above it. Before these cards get pushed up to over $1. White 2 generic, a 3/1 flying human cleric. When it enters the battlefield, look at target opponent's hand. You may exile an online card from it for as long as that card remains exiled. Its owner may play it. However, they have to play it with a tax of 2. And that's any card. You can exile an online card, any non-land card. So like creatures, enchantments, artifacts, it all gets the tax. Gets the Spellbinder tax. Tax by Spellbinder. Jim said you said at random times, but I didn't expect this. Oh, it's random. This might be like the de facto time until I get back to Canada. Everyone's so surprised at the stream. But also, it's like I don't know, a very late Christmas to everyone in Europe. Okay, Isaiah. Ixidron is good. Let's look at Ixidron. Ixidron. What is Ixidron? Ixidron is a blue 3 generic illusion. As Ixidron enters the battlefield, turn all other non-token creatures face down. So they're 2/2 creatures. Ixidron's power and toughness are each equal to the number of face-down creatures on the battlefield. I have no idea how you use this. Turn all other non-token creatures face down. Oh, no, okay. This is pretty busted. So basically, it's almost like soft removal. It's almost like, it reminds me of this blue removal spell called Turn to Swine or something? No, what's the blue exile target creatures and they all become 2/2 pigs? Like it's blue axe. This is what it reminds me of, but everything, it's non-token creatures. So like however big your creatures are, they all get flipped upside down. And they become 2/2. So it's basically Curse of the Swine. That's what it was. Curse of the Swine. It's like Curse of the Swine in the form of a creature. By the way, this is also under $1 if blue needs more removal spells. And also exiles the creature so he ain't coming back. Ixidron, pretty amazing card. It's like it's a pseudo removal spell. It's a big, huge, beefy creature at the same time. That's right. Thank you very much, everyone. Some of you guys know Bailey Cakes. We got the Monocle Rogue Azai. You guys know these $1 cards better than I do. Oh, everyone's shouting out a braid. I think that's been printed enough times. Truth be told, you know, this is a multi-format all-star. I mean, this is a huge staple in Legacy and Modern and Pioneer and of course Commander. Red 1 generic instant, deals 3 damage to target creature. That still hits like 1,000,000 creatures in the game, and it's destroy target artifact. So goodbye, I don't know, Mycosynth Lattice, for example. Any artifacts on the battlefield. Or of course, maybe if there's a Mycosynth Lattice, you can just blow anything up, because it turns everything into an artifact anyway. Oh yeah, we have Arentis with Ether Mage's Touch. We got a white, blue, 2 generic, instant, reveal the top 4 cards of your library. You may put a creature card from among them onto the battlefield. It gains at the beginning of your end step. Return this creature to its owner's hand. Then put the rest of the cards revealed this way on the bottom of your library in any order. Is this like a super impulse? You may put a creature card from among them onto the battlefield. At the beginning of your end step, return this creature. So like, it's like a super impulse, except you find a creature, and if you can find a creature with an active or triggered ability, an ETB, you're gonna get a little bit of extra value on top of that. It's like it's going into your hand anyway. So this is a very unique card. Cool. Who's back at it again? The Ether Mage? Okay, we got Egg. Savine's Reclamation is definitely underplayed. Savine's? Am I okay, we're going. We're here, Egg. Savine's Reclamation for a white 2 generics. It's a sorcery. Return target permanent card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Sounds like another Unearth. However, if this spell was cast from a graveyard, you may copy this spell, and you may choose a new target for the copy with flashback of a white 4 generic. So you basically get 2 Unearths with 1 stone. So all you Unearth people, you Orzhov Unearth people, all right, you can reanimate even more stuff with the Savine's Reclamation. End of OP turn and it can attack. Oh yeah, that's true. That's true story. Hold on, let's go back. I didn't notice that interaction because it is an instant. So you can put a creature card, and at the beginning of your end step, so if you do this at end of turn, you put a creature in play, you get that ETB, you get to attack with it on your turn because that's the beginning of your end step that this thing gets returned back to your hand, which is not bad. It gets returned to your hand. It's not getting dumpstered into the graveyard or anything like that. You can have a surprise blocker off of this thing. It's pretty neat. Oh yeah, Suntine's a pretty good... That's a good thing to go find. Calibrated Blast from Jackson. It would look like Calibrated Blast. Not many decks can use this. Like maybe one modern deck, the red 2 generic, reveal cards from the top of your library. It's an instant. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-land card. Put the revealed cards on the bottom of your library in a random order. When you reveal a non-land card this way, deals damage equal to the card's mana value to any target. Wild card. Basically, you're supposed to... It's like... I think you put this in like a mostly heavy lands deck and you just stuff it with gigantic creatures. And you're good to go. We got Karen with Planar Birth. I didn't know you can give birth to a plane. Planar birth. Planar? I think it's planar birth. I can't find it. I have no idea what this is. Sorry about that. Am I getting trolled? Primeval Titan? Is this under $1? Oh, maybe you're talking about cards you can find off of that card. I think you're trying to give me cards that you can find off of the other card. What was the last one? Yeah, well, maybe not Calibrated Blast, but Ether Mage's Touch. Chris Ross is back. All right, I work nights now, so I've been missing your streams. How have you been? I've been doing great. I believe that Inquisition of Kozilek. Are you kidding me? Inquisition is cheap. Inquisition of Kozilek. No way. No way! This used to be $20 for a black sorcery. Target player reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it with mana value equal you choose an online card from it with mana value 3 or less. That player discards that card. It's basically the cheaper version of Thoughtseize, but sees just as much play as Thoughtseize, frankly. Whoa! Emrakul, the Promised End. Since when is a big Eldrazi over 10 mana worth less than $1? This is not less than $1. Or maybe this is lagged. I think you all are talking about that Ether Flux card. Planar Birth from Earth. Planar Birth. Oh, okay, here. I don't know why it didn't show up last time. I must have misspelled something. Thank you much, Dio, for correcting this. All right. We got Karen's card. Planner Birth. A white, 1 generic sorcery. Put all basic lands from all graveyards into play under their owner's control tapped. Okay, I'm going to be... This is like a $3 card, but you know what? If it's been through the washer and it's in heavily played condition, you can find it for $1. I'm sure you can do it. So for white, 1 generic, you put all basic lands from all graveyards into play under... What the... It's the weirdest ramp. So I bet if you milled yourself somehow, putting a bunch of lands into your graveyard, and you play the Planner Birth, boom! It would probably be the best ramp spell in all of Magic the Gathering. The Monocle Rogue. Dread Return costs so little and has great potential. Well, the thing with Dread Return, I'll tell you why. It's a really good card, but the decks that it's put in are broken as hell and get banned. So a black, 2 generic sorcery. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Flashback, sacrifice 3 creatures. Oh, by the way, look, this card is banned in Modern. But it's not. It's legal in other formats, but the best cards that would use this card are either banned or there's so much hate for these decks because this card is so outrageously powerful. Outrageously powerful. Callan Teres with the Shrine of Burning Rage. Gotta be careful here. Burning Rage. What is this guy? I totally forgot. Oh yeah, this used to be like a burnish card. That's all playing burn. All right, 2 mana artifact. At the beginning of your upkeep, whenever you cast a red spell, put a charge counter on Shrine of Burning Rage. And then, you know, over the course of the game, this thing accumulates like a lot of charge counters. And then you can pay 3 taps, sack it to deal damage to a creature or player equal. Is it any target now? Sacrifice it, deals damage equal to the number of charge. Yeah, to any target. So they've errated it. You can shoot at anything. You shoot at planeswalkers, whatever you want. It's all good. Go hit, not a saga. What are that new card type? Attack anything with the Shrine of Burning Rage. Very underrated card. It's like, it actually has seen competitive play. It's like in that middle, in-between ground. It's seen play in burn decks when Eidolon of the Great Revel is not very good. Alright, who else have we not got? We got Rusty here with the Groundbreaker. Oh, it's Green Ball Lightning. Green, 6/1, trample haste, at end of turn, sacrifice Groundbreaker. Of course, I guess if you're playing, what, is it called 8 ball? No, 12 ball? Or is it 16 ball? How many ball lightnings there are? There's Groundbreaker, there's actual ball lightning, there's lightning skelemental, and there are some people who play with collected company to find all of them. I've played against these decks before. It's wild. Collected company is just like, deal 12 damage to you, unless you want to block with something. Abzo really trying to get Gurmag Angler on here. All right, we got Gurmag Angler. Budget, it's effectively budget, what's it called? Budget Murktide. You know, this card's coming back in Legacy because it doesn't get hit by Snuff Out. Snuff Out has become like a huge card now in Legacy. I used to play Legacy 8 years ago. Nobody played Snuff Out. Nobody. And now every deck that plays black plays Snuff Out. And Gurmag Angler is the answer. So it's a Delve card for a black and 6 generic. It's a 5/5 creature, so it dodges Lightning Bolt. It dodges the Fatal Pushes. It dodges most stuff. Good luck Prismatic Ending this thing. And it's got Delve, so you can basically play it for 1 mana. After you've thrown away like Ponders and Brainstorms. And it costs less than $1. And it's Snuff Out proof. What else do we have here? It's also a Pauper staple. That's true. It's also a staple of Pauper. Josh with the Karmic Guide. A lot of people like to bring up Karmic Guide on this show. White, 3 generic for a 2/2 Angel Spirit. Flying, protection from black with Echo, and when Karmic Guide enters the battlefield, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. I see the appeal to this card because even if you don't play the Echo, like, who cares? You just reanimated something anyway. You reanimated something. Do Keep Watch. Is that a card? Do Keep Watch from Bailey Cakes. Yeah. Nope. I guess this is in response to something else. Okay, we got Dio Brando, Devoted Druid. Oh god, I hate this card. You know, every single time I see this card, I feel like I feel a sense of hopelessness. Things, the life of me is getting sucked out of me. White 1 generic for a 0/1. You tapped out a green, but you can put a -1/-1 counter on Devoted Druid, untap Devoted Druid. Now, this card by itself is sort of poop. I mean, maybe it's okay. I don't know. It does add like a lot of mana if you really want to, but it's supposed to combo with Vizier of Remedies, which says if one or more -1/-1 counters would be put on a creature, that many -1/-1 counters. Sorry, that many -1/-1 are put on it instead. What that just says is that things don't get -1/-1 creatures. In fact, this is an entire combo for less than $1. You can get both parts of this combo for less than $1. You have infinite mana. I don't do well with infinite mana. No, I don't like. I'm not happy. Yeah, Devoted Druid used to be expensive. I mean, I guess there's like a lot more removal spells now. Prismatic Ending, Unholy Heat, you know, Subtlety, Solitude, Fury. So it's not as dangerous as it used to be. But still, I don't play with a lot of removal spells. So when I see this thing, I'm just like, okay, well, okay, you want to sign the slip now or later? Well, I guess we'll do it now. Okay, Tony trying to get Energy Flux up here. You're really excited for Energy Flux. Isn't this an anti-artifact card? 1 blue, 2 generic, enchantment. All artifacts have at the beginning of your upkeep, sack this artifact unless you pay 2. That is an absolute beating. That is a super powerful card against any artifact-based deck. You know, even there's a lot of course, a lot of the artifact decks, they want to play with the lands like Seat of Synod and Burning Furnace and all that other crap. They got to pay 2 mana for that too. They got to use their lands to pay for this cost. Well, they should just sacrifice the damn thing. So anyway, Energy Flux, it's one of the best sideboard cards or anti-artifact cards out there in the game, and it's less than $1. So if you know someone playing with a lot of artifacts, you know exactly the card to go get. You Energy Flux them to death. You put them in their place. And artifact players are always trying to cheese you out with like stupid garbage. They're not playing fair. They never have been. It's really hard to balance artifact decks because they have like tons of cheap tons of cheap cards or the affinity like cards, and they just go wild out of nowhere. They got to be put in place with these cards. That's what we got them for. We've got Rona plus Devoted Druid plus Mox Amber. Is that a combo as well? I'm not familiar with Rona. Turia with Vat of Rebirth. What is that all about? Vat of Rebirth. What do we got over here? For 1 black, it's an artifact. Whenever another artifact or creature you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, put an oil counter on Vat of Rebirth. Pay a black 2 generic. Tap. Remove 4 oil counters from Vat of Rebirth. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Only activate as a sorcery. I can't actually, I can't say how good or bad this card is. It's pretty new. It's insanely new. Whenever another artifact or creature is put into a graveyard from the battlefield. So basically, as your stuff dies, it can be reborn. Reborn again. You guys love reanimating stuff. Karmic Guide, Unearth, Vat of Rebirth. It's like some sort, you know, your favorite creature gets to live again. I guess that's the sense, that's the high people get at reanimating their own creatures. Oh, you killed my thing? Well, guess what? It's back. We're back, baby. Back from the dead. All right, we got a huge super chat from Tyler. Thank you so much for the super chat. Do you have a card you want to mention? If you have a card, let me know. Usually you include it in the super chat, but outside of that, thank you very much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Supports the channel big time. Okay, Bailey's Slayer's Stronghold. I get the sense Bailey Cakes is a huge fan of the Amulet deck. All right, you tap, add a generic mana, or sorry, a colorless mana. Pay a red 1 generic, and pay a red white, tap, target creature gets +2/+0, gains vigilance and haste until end of turn. This is an insane great utility card in the Boros colors. And I don't want to say it's like the most free thing to play in your deck because it is a colorless land, but the ability attached to it is insane. Who doesn't want vigilance in a much larger creature? And haste! It's hard to play around that card. Because anything you play is... It's like the person with the Slayer's Stronghold. Anything they do could just come out of nowhere and attack you. We got a Mythical Neffy. Wildfire Eternal because we love casting Cruel Ultimatum for free. Wildfire Eternal. Oh my goodness! Wildfire Eternal is a red 3 generic 1/4 zombie jackal cleric with afflict 4 whenever this creature becomes blocked. Defending player loses 4 life. Whenever Wildfire Eternal attacks and isn't blocked, you may cast an instant or sorcery card from your hand without paying its mana cost. That's broken. You just attack the person that's completely open. Or if they have one creature, you just kill it and then boom. You're trying to play Cruel Ultimatum for free? That's cruel. It's cruel, Mythical. Very cruel. Orantis. That is not underrated at all, but that's probably underplayed because of how often it's been banned. Arkham's Astrolabe. Does anyone have any idea how many formats this card is banned in? 3. It's banned in 3 formats. That's wild. It doesn't even look like all that much when you like on the surface. It's a 1 snow artifact, and when it enters the battlefield, you draw a card. Okay, sure. There's like a lot of cards that cost like 0 mana. You basically get a card like Mishra's Bauble and Lens of Urza and stuff like that. So you draw the card, you pay 1, you tap, and you add 1 mana of any color. Like, why would this be so ridiculously powerful? Anyway, used to be a staple in the most popular formats like Pauper, Modern, Legacy. It's gone. It's gone. It's just the weirdest mana fixer of all time. Doesn't bring balance to the game whatsoever because like you can't, like Blood Moon doesn't hit these types of decks anymore. So anyway, it's just and it's now less than $1. So you know, get in on that Arkham's Astrolabe action if you can still play the damn thing. John Jackson says banning Astrolabe skill issue. We can't beat these Astrolabe decks. Oh, it was brutal. It's weird. The person just gets a bunch of snow basics and like you can't do anything about their lands. You can't wasteland the stuff. You can't back to basics. You can't Blood Moon them. Yeah, maybe it's a skill issue. Just a quick look. Did Tyler do anything with this super chat? He did. Okay. This is the right one, right? Yes, Tyler. Di Benito. Okay, even though you have no idea what's going on half the time, you're still my favorite. Like these budget streams. You're welcome. Bit of a backhanded compliment. I love all those comments in the comments section. I've hearted all of them. They're like, Nikachu, you don't read the cards. You don't even understand how these cards work. I know. Wait. This is a vibes channel. I'm not trying to teach you anything. This is a channel. I'm like a hardcore Modern and Legacy player now. I'm just pretending to be a Commander player. We got Anthony Griffin with the super chat. I use Varrock Battlehorns in a few big green decks. Varrock. Is it Varrock? The Battlehorns. It's an artifact. I thought it'd be a creature. 2 mana for an equipment. Equipped creature has trample and can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. All right, you block 1, it's going to be trampled over. You equip for 1. You got your big beefy creatures, you go right over them. Beautiful. Yeah, Nikachu representing representation for people like us. Kagum, Burnt Offering. And you will offer. What the hell is this? Okay, it's 1 black. It's an interrupt, which means it's an instant by today's standards. Sack a creature to add that creature's casting cost in any combination of red or black mana to your mana pool. Oh, so you convert their mana value to like it's like there's another card that's like this. It's like sack a creature, add 5 black mana, but this is just equal to its mana cost, which could be even larger. You got a 7 mana creature out, boom! You got 7 mana. You can add as much black, or what's the Oracle? As initial cost to cast the spell, sack a creature, and you add X mana in combination of black or red, where X is the sack creature's mana value. Yeah. Weird, neat card. For anyone who needs more cards like this, like, how do you look up stuff like this? You never would. If you wanted that type of effect, you would have no idea how to look this stuff up. Yeah, gotta love the spell reduction. Dina. Dina Soul Steeper. Representing Dina Soul Steeper. Okay, then. I like this shot right now on the stream. Great flavor. All right, so we have a black green 1/3 Dryad Druid. Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. Yeah, that's broken. Pay 1, sack another creature. Dina Soul Steeper gets +X+0 until end of turn, where X is the sacrifice creature's power. I think the second ability is not that relevant, but the first one is incredibly relevant, where as you gain life, your opponent's getting drained life. And it's each opponent, it's not like one person. So you gain 40 life, they're losing 40 life, baby. Yeah, I think Dina is trying to pump up their Dinas. Yeah, someone speculated on 1 million foil Dinas. They're going to the moon, people. Chris Ross, were you thinking of Calling of the Week? That's $10. Maybe I was thinking of Calling of the Week. As the ritual? Oh, sorry, it's Culling the Week. I wish Scryfall was smart enough to know. Yeah. So this is like the $10 card, and that other one is like the budget version of this. This is a popular. I don't know if this card's. It's sort of in the jank decks of Legacy and other competitive decks, but like it's a card, right? Not on the reserve list, but it's a card. So if you want like a budget version of this, you go with the Burnt Offering, which might do something somewhat equal. I mean, you sort of have to sack a good creature in order to get the mana, whereas this you can sack like anything. But anyway, this is like the closest you can get to a budget offering. Okay, Mythical Neffy. How do we feel about Axis of Mortality? I don't know. Axis of Mortality. We got a white 4 generic enchantment called Axis of Mortality. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may have 2 target players exchange life totals. Oh, you wanted to put me to 5? Well, guess what? We're using the Uno reverse card. Basically, the Uno card here. Amazing. This card is a little bit more than $1, but don't worry. In heavily played condition, we can get it for under $1. Definitely gonna make that work. Sean Jackson with the Witherbloom Apprentice. Witherbloom Apprentice. Oh, this card. Black, green, 2/2 Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. And I think you use Chain of Smog with this thing, and you have like basically an infinite combo. So you get the step 1, get this thing in place. Step 2, combo off the immediately on that turn, or else your opponents are just gonna try to kill you before you kill them. Nikachu should do one with these cards we didn't know were expensive, like Amulet of Vigor or Juzam Dejin. Cards that are insanely expensive and you didn't know. I guess that's possible. I think a lot of people know what the expensive cards are, though, because it's only expensive because it's good. With the exception of some reserve list cards that are just bizarre. I mean, that could be a show. Crazy cards that are actually expensive only because they're on the reserve list. Okay, we got Josh. I forgot Colossification even exists. Colossification? This card. All right, green, 5 generic. Does anyone play this card? It's an aura. When it enters the battlefield, tap enchanted creature, and enchanted creature gets +20/+20. So, I mean, everyone's gonna see it coming. It doesn't even do all that much for Commander. 7 mana, make your creature a 20/20. Try to untap your creature on the exact same turn. That's funny stuff. This is like a meme card, if anything else. Oh yeah, you thought the little kitty wasn't that dangerous, huh? Well, it's enormous. Okay, what else do we have here? Keldon with Resculpt. Resculpt is a blue 1 generic instant. Exile target artifact or creature. Not that much removal for blue, but this does it. Its controller creates a 4/4 blue and red elemental creature token. Really not that big of a deal, even for most formats. If there is a gigantic creature that you cannot deal with, this is the best way to do it. They are slowly giving more removal to blue. You got like your rapid hybridizations, your Pongifies, And anything at instant speed is gravy. So Resculpt, one of the best blue removal spells in the game. Well, mostly because there isn't that much removal for blue. It's really slim pickings. Mr. Tea Time with Suppression Field. Is this under $1? Well, it's a little bit over. That's okay. White 1 generic active. Yeah, that's right. You know, no one uses cards like this. White 1 generic activated abilities cost 2 more to play unless they're mana abilities. This is busted. Like this thing hits things you wouldn't think of, like fetch lands, for example. So if you want to fetch, you have to pay 2 mana, and early on in the game, you're not gonna have it. So if you get this thing on the play turn 2, your opponents are gonna be in a real dire straits. There's still a lot of fetch lands out there. There's still a lot of like activated abilities. You don't think of your mana dork as an activated ability, but that's an activated ability, so it shuts down your mana dorks as well. So anyway, it's a pretty insane card. Actually, hold on. Does it shut down Llanowar Elves? I don't remember now. I can't remember the wording, the way that it's I think the mana dorks just add mana. I can't remember. Someone let me know in chat or something how this interacts with the mana dork. The mana dork is a mana ability, so it has to be one of those like tap symbols. Well, no, yeah, it's a mana ability, so no. See, that's a confusing thing. Activated abilities, and this is like a mana ability, and they still say tap on it, right? Like if we look at a Llanowar Elf, it's still gonna have the tap symbol. See? Oh, we see the German Llanowar Elf as we're on Europe. See, that's the confusing thing. Look, it's got the tap symbol. So anyway, that's just the magic rules for you. Okay, it shuts down Deathrite Shaman. That's what I'm thinking of. Shuts down Deathrite Shaman. All right, what else did I see up there? Someone said Dismember, but I don't believe... Dismember really under $1? I don't believe that. No, not under $1. Not even close. I love the card, though. Great card. I'd be really surprised if it was under $1. That'd be wild. Andre! Thank you so much for the super chat. We got Narcomoeba together with Dread Return was Base of Dredge. Too bad that other cards for that deck are too expensive or banned now. That's right, they did that. Okay, let's look at Narcomoeba, though. That's still a pretty hot card. Narcomoeba. Alright, Narcomoeba. Blue 1 generic, 1/1 flying. When Narcomoeba is put in your graveyard from the library, you may put it onto the battlefield and is under $1. Oh, I want another. Okay, hold on. I'm going back on Suppression Field. Okay, it does interact with the Matador. Okay, the Matadorks it interacts with. Roll call. Deathrite Shaman. Devoted Druid. Because you have that activated ability of putting a -1/-1 counter on and untapping it. So it prevents the infinite mana. Okay, that's it. But those are very relevant cards. Even though Deathrite Shaman is banned. Let's see. Divide by 0. It's a real card. It sounds like an unglued card. Oh my god, this is a real card. Blue 2 generic. Return target spell or permanent with mana value 1 or greater to its owner's hand. But you get to learn. You may reveal a lesson card you own from outside the game and put it into your hand. Or discard a card to draw a card. It's not bad. Honestly, I don't even know all the lesson cards that are available. Because that mechanic didn't really go off in the competitive format, so I just didn't really see it. Mana Tithe can be less than $1. Yeah, but Mana Tithe sucks. It's a troll card. Is Wrath of God $1? I mean, I don't blame... Like, it's been reprinted a million times. It is not $1. It's close in Double Masters. Okay, it's like $2 in Double Masters, so I guess in heavily played condition, it can be $1. Destroy all creatures that can't be regenerated. This is good stuff. Olaf the Nighthawk Scavenger. That is a really good one. Because you don't even need to be a vampire deck to make great use out of this card. Nighthawk Scavenger, black 1 generic, a 1 plus star, 3 toughness creature, flying death touch lifelink, and its power is equal to 1 plus the number of card types among all cards in your opponent's graveyards. It's gonna be lands, it's gonna be lands, creatures, instant sorceries, artifacts. It's gonna be a lot of stuff. It's a Tarmogoyf of the vampires. It's basically Vampire Nighthawk, right? It's basically that. All you need is 1 card type in your opponent's graveyards, and it's at least Vampire Nighthawk, but it can get a lot bigger. Suppression Field shuts down Grizzlebrand. Although I have to admit, if you have Grizzlebrand out, I bet if they only have to pay 2 to draw 7 cards. That's pretty good. Non-partisan Kitty, a Torrential Gear Hulk. This is actually like $1. That's amazing. How the hell did this happen? All right, I think this is way too cheap. This card's insane. It's a blue 4 generic flash 5/6 creature, and when it enters the battlefield, you cast an instant or sorcery card in your graveyard without paying its mana cost. It is just free. I mean, the cost that you paid was just putting this 5/6 in play, but a 5/6 flasher is not that damn bad. And yeah, this should be a staple in every single blue deck. I didn't know the price went down so low. I don't even know why it even got this low. This card's insane for its price. It's, in some senses, it's like better than Snapcaster Mage. You could put them Cruel Ultimatum. No, hold on, cast target instant card. Okay, it's only the instants, people. So no time locks, no Cruel Ultimatums. But it can be Dig Through Time. That's not bad. It's good stuff. Yeah, this would Dig Through Time. That's right. That's you're thinking that we're on the same mind wavelength thingamabob. Okay, we got Chris Block. Natural Affinity, hilarious card. Play in response to a board wipe. El Natural. What is this? Until end of turn, all lands become... Oh my goodness! For a green 2 generic, you turn all the lands into 2/2 creatures. So in response to a board wipe, you're like, you wanted to wipe the board? Well, we're gonna wipe the whole board. Fooled you! Okay, fools on all of us. You've been This is a good reason to sandbag lands in your hand. Oh god. Do you play in a group with a lot of board wipes? I guess that just it makes them nervous. If you have 3 mana up, should I board wipe now? They could just play Natural Affinity on us and then we're all screwed. That adds like another level of, I don't know, paranoia or something. Manifold Key for the Tron Lands Lander players out there, super underrated. No, it's a amazing artifact card for 1 mana, pay 1, tap, untap another target artifact. You know, like Grim Monolith, Mana Vault, Soul Ring. I mean, it's a ramp in that sense. Pay 3, tap, target creature can't be blocked this turn. Is this a staple, by the way? For anyone out there, is like Urza's Saga a staple in Commander at this point? Like, because it can always find Soul Ring at the very least. I feel like I should have an Urza Saga in my deck. Like, it's no downside in Commander. You just always get a Soul Ring. Who the hell doesn't play with Soul Ring? Or I could get my Manifold Key. Makes things unblockable. That's disgusting. For 3 mana. Yeah, it almost looks like a free roll. Almost. We got Omeek. Good morning. Or very good late night. Tidal Barracuda is way less than $1 in Europe. Okay, Tidal Barracuda. It's like okay, it's like $3 in American, but I'll believe you that it's less than $1 in Europe. Blue 3 generic for a 3/4 fish. Any player may cast spells as though they had flash. It's a great way to bring chaos to the game. Your opponents can't cast spells during your turn. Oh! So anyway, well, what kind of flash is this? Any player may cast though they had flash, but they can't cast spells on your turn. That is a good card though. So basically, everyone can play at flash speed on anyone else's turn, but your turn, that's not free real estate. Welcome, Violet. Welcome to the show. What do you got here? We have Gale's Redirection. Oh, sounds like some sort of misdirection card. Gale's Redirection. Gale's Redirection is a blue 3 generic instant. Exile target spell, then roll a d20. And add that spell's mana value. What the hell? And add, okay, so 1 to 14, you may cast the exiled card for as long as it remains exiled, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast that spell, or 15 plus. You may cast the exiled card without paying its mana cost for as long as it remains exiled. All right, so if you're lucky, like 25% of the time, you can recast the spell. So you exile spells, and then you can recast it yourself in some sense, in some world. Treasure Cruise is so under... Oh, yeah, Treasure Cruise. It's Ancestral Recall. Who wouldn't want to play with Ancestral Recall in their deck? Everyone says, like, Ancestral Recall is, like, too good for Commander, which I think is just absolute nonsense. If it's too good, then this would be too good, but this obviously isn't too good. Blue, 7 generic sorcery, delve, draw 3 cards. I mean, yeah, you have to put some work into putting cards in the graveyard, but really, is it really that hard? It's also less than $1. Mole Drifter, really, Stetson? Mole Drifter. It's $1. All right, this is it's the original Thought Monitor. Believe it or not, this is Thought Monitor. Blue 4 generic for a 2/2 flyer. When it enters the battlefield, you draw 2 cards. They just basically took this and gave it affinity, and boom, Thought Monitor, which is way more broken than this. It's crazy broken. Okay, we got Guri Zuri. Ruthless Knave from Ixalan is a great budget alternative to Pitiless Plunder for the Ixalan token combos. Great idea. Okay, let's look at Ruthless Knave. Ruthless Knave. For a black 2 generic, we've got a 3/2 Orc Pirate with black 2 generic. Sack this creature, create 2 colorless treasure tokens. Sorry, treasure artifact tokens with tap, sack this artifact, add 1 mana of any color your mana pool, and you can sack 3 treasures to draw a card. And it's less than $1. No, redirection adds the spell's mana value, so you're almost always guaranteed to steal an opponent's big thing. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Mole Drifter plus copying cards. Shivan Dragon. I think Shivan Dragon is crap. I think Shivan Dragon is Magic the Gathering's Charizard. Charizard is so bad in Pokemon, and I honestly don't think it's any better. I don't think Shivan Dragon is any better in Magic the Gathering. Does anyone play with Shivan Dragon in any other decks? Roll call. You let us all know in the comments section. Prove me wrong. You got to be playing it outside of flavor. Oh, we got Pandemon with a Thought Picker Witch. It's Thought Picker Witch is a black for a 1/1 human wizard. Pay 1, sack a creature. Look at the top 2 cards of target opponent's library, then remove 1 of them from the game. What do you do with this? So it's like, it's a very expensive Fate Seal, as far as I'm concerned. But you do get to look 2 cards deep. If this is 1-on-1, I could totally see you just completely putting your opponent out of their misery. But outside of that, I don't think, well, whatever. I don't know how you use this card, because the effect is powerful, but the cost is very high. Once the brew gets the brains nice and pickled, they're a lot easier to pick through. Okay, maybe it's a good flavor text. Geyer with the super chat. Thank you so much. Varel of the Whole Clade. Cheap Proliferate. Gar loves Varel. Blue, green, 1 generic for a 1/4 human merfolk. I love merfolks, but I was really a little disappointed on this one because it doesn't have any synergy with other merfolk cards. Blue, green, tap, double the number of each kind of counter on target artifact, creature, or land. You love Proliferate? This is the perfect Proliferate commander at under $1. All right, well, that's it for today. You know how it is. Another day of Magic the Gathering, another Coffee and MTG. But don't worry, it's not the end of Coffee and MTG because we do this every Monday to Friday for the next few days, still at random times. So make sure you hit those bell notifications and subscribes and all that other stuff. Thank you very much, everyone, for supporting the channel, either with the super chats to be part of the show, or if you're a member on YouTube or a patron on Patreon. Your support means that I am here every weekday for Coffee and MTG. But most important, we gotta thank the people who show up in the morning. People like Gyre Flavor, Flav Loco, Placatato. That's a tongue twister. Abzo, Samuel, Dina. We got Some Pleb, Tinsky Hunter, Violet, Mick. We've got Tony Edward Stark. We got Boulder, Sky, Josh. We got everybody here. So thank you very much for showing up in the morning, because you guys are the ones who really make the show a show. So as usual, my coffee crew, keep brewing up them coffees, and we'll keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you at the next cup.